You're not the oldest, so you don't get the spotlight. You're not the youngest, so you don't get the rescue. So what do you get? You get practice. Every day. Watching the rules get set by the oldest, and watching the chaos get excused for the youngest. Psychology Today describes how that can trigger jealousy, anger, even negative attention-seeking when you feel sidelined. But I'm going to show you the other side using large-scale research. Why middles often end up more cooperative, especially in bigger families, and how that changes the way you lead, love, and fight. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Have you ever noticed how your biggest moments can feel weirdly quiet at home? Like you're doing the same thing your sibling did, but no one's leaning in this time? Picture a normal night. Plates clink, someone asks for the salt. The oldest is talking about a win, like a test score or a coach saying, "Good job," and the room wakes up for it because it feels important and new. Then the youngest knocks over a cup. A splash, a quick scramble, a half laugh, a towel. Big reactions. Big energy. It turns into a whole little scene. And you're just there. You're waiting for the basic question. How was your day? What happened? Anything. You even line up the story in your head, ready to make it sound good, but the moment slides by because the family's attention is already spent. So you do what middle kids learn to do. You start scanning fast. Who's stressed? Who's proud? Who needs space? You listen to tone, not just words. You clock the vibe like it's your job. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. It's the brain's habit of sizing yourself up by looking sideways. Where am I in this group? What gets praise here? What gets ignored? And as a middle kid, your spot is the one that shifts because you're between a first and a last all the time. Think about it. The oldest gets the firsts. First day at school, first sleepover, first big game. The family nervous system lights up because it has never happened before, so it feels like a headline. The youngest gets the awe. Every little thing is cute. Every little mistake is a story. They get help fast because they still need it, and the whole house kind of moves around that. You get the rerun. Same milestone, same effort, but the shock is gone. It's like the family already learned how to react, so they react less. Not because they don't care, because it's not new to them anymore. And when that keeps happening, the feeling isn't just, "I'm sad," it's, "I'm not seen." That's a different kind of hurt. Psychology writers talk about how being overlooked can push you into weird coping moves. Jealousy that you hate admitting. Sharp jokes that land a little too hard. Acting out because any attention beats none. Or you just leave the house and find a place where you feel real. Here's the small, quiet part. You stop asking for help because help goes to the baby. You stop bragging because bragging belongs to the oldest. You learn to keep it tight, keep it moving, handle it. You become easy, low maintenance. The kid who doesn't cause trouble, the kid who doesn't need much. People praise you for it, but it's not always a personality. Sometimes it's a strategy. This wasn't you being boring. It was you building an internal locus of control. That's the psych term for "I believe I can steer my own life." Not in a cheesy way, in a practical way. You learn early, I handle it. I figure it out. I don't wait for the room to notice me. And you get another kind of training too. You watch rules change in real time. The oldest sets the rules because parents are strict the first time. The youngest bends the rules because parents are tired, softer, busy. So you learn the real rules are about mood and timing. Who had a long day? When to ask? When to back off? That's executive function in the wild. Planning, self-control, reading the moment. So yeah, it can feel like you're slightly out of frame. But what you're really getting is practice at reading people and adjusting fast. That's not neglect. That's training. Which brings us to the part most people miss, because it only shows up when you look at huge data, not one loud family story. Most people hear middle child, and they picture one thing: forgotten, bitter, always joking about being ignored. That story feels true because it's loud and easy to spot. But here's the thing. When you look at hundreds of thousands of people at once, you get a very different picture. Not a vibe, not one family, a pattern. There was a big study covered in The Guardian with over 700,000 volunteers. The researchers looked at personality traits across birth order and family size. Not to say, this is your fate. Just to see what shows up on average when the sample is huge. And what showed up wasn't middles are messed up. It was almost the opposite. Middle kids on average scored a bit higher on traits tied to cooperation, like agreeableness and honesty, humility. And those scores popped more in bigger families. Agreeableness sounds soft, but it's not weak. It's the part of you that goes, let's keep this fair. It's being willing to share the win. It's letting someone else talk without needing to jump in and top it. Honesty, humility is even more plain. You're real. You don't fake it for points. You don't need to flex. You can keep a secret without turning it into a story about you. So in real life, this looks like you sharing credit when the group project goes well. You don't need to win every talk. You notice when one person keeps getting cut off. You pass the mic back. You don't burn the group down just to feel seen. And yeah, that's a flip, because the stereotype says you should be the one who's always mad. But the data says you're more likely to have pro-social tools, skills that keep groups from falling apart. Now, why do bigger families matter so much in this research? Because more people means more trade-offs, more waiting, more negotiating, more times you want something and you don't get it right away. You learn group math without trying. If you grab the last slice, someone's going to remember. If you push too hard, the whole room gets tense. If you stay calm, things move faster. That's not some cute life lesson. That's your nervous system learning patterns. Your executive function gets trained in real time. You plan around other people. You hold back an impulse. You choose the right moment. And that middle spot matters too. You're not the leader who needs control because the oldest already had that job. You're not the baby who gets saved because the youngest already pulls that gravity. So you become the bridge. You translate moods. You reduce friction. You learn which sibling needs a joke, which one needs space, which one needs backup. Psychologists call this mirror neurons doing reps. That's the brain system that helps you read faces and match feelings. And in the middle, you're watching two different siblings play two different roles, so you get good at switching fast. Now, to keep this honest, the researchers were clear about something. The effects are small. Birth order doesn't let you predict one person's whole life. They even said, you can't tell much about the personality of a given individual from their birth order or family size, even though there are clear differences when averaging across many people. But small effects still matter. Because small effects, repeated across a whole childhood, turn into habits. And habits turn into a style. So do a quick self-check. Think about your friend group. When two people are mad, you're the one who texts both sides. You set the plan. You smooth the conflict. That's cooperative wiring, not people-pleasing. So the big data doesn't say you're the forgotten kid. It says you're more likely to come out with skills that keep things fair, steady, and real. Now let's turn that into something useful, so you stop treating your personality like a flaw you have to outrun. Think about what that actually means. Being not the first and not the baby didn't just take attention from you. It trained you. You got negotiation reps. You got cooperation reps. You learned how to see two sides fast. Psychologists call this perspective taking. Simple meaning. You can feel what each person wants, then find the overlap. That's teamwork. That's mediation. That's quiet leadership. So if you're a middle, drop a comment with the role you always play. Fixer, translator, peacekeeper, wildcard. Hit like and subscribe because we dive deep into psychology that actually explains you.